Howdy everyone, welcome back. We got our last session before lunch. I've got with me Kiyoto Tamura. We're on a shorter time frame, so I want to get right into it. Kiyoto, can you tell us where you're from, what you do?
Sure, thank you very much for the opportunity. My name is Kiyoto Tamura. I'm VP of Marketing and a part of the founding team at Treasure Data.
Cool. And Treasure Data, what do you guys do? I know live data management, you're the pioneers there. Can you explain a little bit to folks? Exactly
Yeah, so we just raised Series C and we launched a new category of live data management. And our goal is to make all the customers' data connected, current, and easily accessible to the people and the algorithms that drive business success.
Cool. And you've got quite a few customers as well.
Yeah. So we've got, I would say, a few hundred of customers, notably like Warner Brothers, GE Healthcare, Pioneer, a lot of big companies, as well as a lot of internet upstarts, Wish, which is one of the fastest growing mobile commerce platforms.
Yep.
And we also have Mobility, where the maker of the first solitaire game on iOS and Android, who presented actually yesterday as a cool customer. Yeah, I know, exactly, right? I have it on my phone. I always see it when I get on the plane. As it turns out, like some good old games, if you keep refining the analytics behind it, you can do a lot with it.
Very, very cool. And it was a funny story because we were talking last night. We were chatting at the End of the World party right over here.
Yeah, the End of the World.
At the W, yeah. We'll see how that works out. And you had mentioned, because we have somebody in common, Yoshinari Yoshikawa, who's one of your
Yeah. So he's one of our advisors who you used to work with.
Totally.
And it's a small valley after all.
It is, even across countries.
Exactly, right? Yeah, so it's a funny connection that we have.
Very, very cool. And Series C is, that was a 25 million injection that just closed. So
Yes, we've raised 54 million to date.
Very, very cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. And the product has been out for how long?
So we launched actually back in September of 2012.
It's not very long. Wow, to pick up that kind of momentum.
4 years, yeah. But
cool.
It's been a very good ride with really our customers supporting our journey, helping us steer the direction of a product. And it's very good to see this adoption across the whole gamut of the company sizes, the industry verticals. And one of the things that we learned is no matter which industry you're in or what your company size is, this pain of tapping into the huge body of knowledge described in disparate data sources, bringing it in one place and making it accessible in the right time frame to the right analytical minds is a very, very big problem. And
you hit all the hard words there. You just went down the list.
But if you that's actually why we're here with the Tableau conference, because coming sort of from the other end of the spectrum, they share the same philosophy, right? If you give the right data to the right people, amazing things can happen.
Absolutely.
And that's why we're here, and we're very, very thankful for the partnership over the last 3 years, and excited about the new development as well.
Cool. And Treasure Data, can you walk us through some of the, because you made some big, commitments there, things that you can do. Do you have public customer stories? You can walk us through success stories, some folks?
Absolutely. There's a couple that I want to talk about. One is Pioneer, which a lot of people think of as electronics companies.
Sure.
But they also do a lot of work around auto aftermarket devices as well.
I was watching the 2-minute video on your site today. They said Pioneer and they started talking about cars. I'm like, wait, they skipped stuff that I had to go back. And
I know, right? So one of the things that they're trying to do is they're trying to make driving safer. And how they're approaching it is with data. So they're trying to combine the data coming from millions of vehicles, right? Commercial or non-commercial.
So these are IoT transmitters. Holy cow.
But that data alone is not particularly useful. You can tell some cars are speeding up, some are slow drivers, right? But if you can sensibly and responsibly and securely combine that data with demographic data, what they look for in car products, what kind of marketing messages people respond to, you can start to refine your segments.
Sure.
And come to understand who is a safe driver. Is it really true that everyone under age 25 is reckless? Probably not, right?
Gotcha.
And I've seen some people who are definitely not 25 years old anymore who can totally drive like they're teenagers. And these people should probably pay a little higher premium.
Sure.
And that's what is going to incentivize safer driving.
Yep.
And that is their vision with data and IoT.
Very cool. So a customer comes to you, they say, we saw your success stories, we want to work with you. Can you explain the process? Because you've got a lot of things going on there, right? If it's connected devices down to the silicon on the car.
Yeah. So one of the benefits of being an end-to-end platform, handling the data connection, unification, integration, and also like storage and processing, is that we can map out a very comprehensive onboarding process. So when we worked with Pioneer, the little spoken about truth of industrial IoT, for example, is data collection is hard, right? The little spoken truth about marketing use cases is that the data is not that clean. So this is where like our customers really trust us with our ability to fully map out the scope of their project and really help them onboard onto our platform.
Very cool.
And it's not always like easy. There's always a challenge, but like
Everybody's
the
got
key,
their own unique little data points
exactly,
and oddities and shit.
But the key thing I think here is to bring it in one place and be very, very thoughtful and strategic about what kind of connectivity we build with all these data sources.
Sure.
So we have to focus, right? But at the same time, it needs to be flexible enough that we only do database dumps or we only do IoT, because the variety of data is really key to making sure that your data is actually useful.
Absolutely. When you say IoT, you might as well say mission critical, because if any of those devices goes down, it could cause issues with the car.
And that's actually one of the areas where we're trying to up-level our platform, is to really this like live nature of the data. So we do support interactive queries. We do support like very, very historical queries into like years of data.
Yep.
But at the same time, we need to strengthen, and we're going to invest a lot more in ensuring that we can support more real-time use cases, or like it's a really right time frame. And that the time frame is becoming more than like a week ago, like 2 weeks ago, or like a year ago. Like it needs to be now.
Get as close to the last second as you can.
Exactly.
Absolutely. So connectors, you guys are working on a Tableau connector as well.
Yes, yes.
Right?
So like we think of the connectors universe in the two sides of the game, the data sources and also data applications, right?
Gotcha.
And if you talk to analysts, they love Tableau. Like that's where they think, and that's where they do most of their day-to-day work. We want to make sure that these people have access not just to like the data available on Tableau server and online, which we've supported for the last 2 years, but today, actually yesterday, now we support the live connectivity. We call it the live BI connectivity.
Very cool.
From Tableau desktop directly to the backend. So this means that treasure data through our Presto ODBC connector, actually, we can connect just like 5, 6 other data sources that the Tableau desktop users are currently using. And this is hugely powerful.
Very, very cool. So you've seen pretty good uptake on that, I would guess, right? Or is that it's already out?
So our customers are already starting to use it. And one of the great things about this is that Presto is open source. And it was originally started actually at Facebook, and we're the first folks to contribute code outside of Facebook.
Oh, you're kidding?
Yeah. And one of our founders, and
LinkedIn, I think, moved over to it about.
Yeah, Uber is using it. Airbnb moved over to it. And one of the benefits of open source, and we have a long open source heritage that I love to talk about different time, is everyone benefits from everyone else's
Totally
work,
agree.
right? We commit back the improvements that we make. We benefit from the improvements made by Uber, made by Facebook.
Absolutely.
And that builds this very, very open set of APIs around which everyone else can build. So now Tableau just announced the Presto connector. Guess what? That is like a very, very key part of our connector. And the work that we're going to do to the ODBC driver is going to help everyone else who is using their own instance of Presto.
Very, very cool. I would actually like to talk about your open source history and background, because I think that's a huge sell. I come from the open source.
Yeah, so what I tell is that our 3 founders have a combined experience of like almost like half a century of open source work. One started contributing code to Linux when he was 17. One started his own database when he was like 18. And our CEO was probably the first person to install Linux on some of the heftier mainframes back in APAC.
Very cool.
And like the way we think about it is open source and business models have had a very interesting relationship. And some worked, some didn't work. And what we're trying to do with us is be very, very cognizant as like open source natives, both the value as well as like the limitations of using open source as a business
It's not all unicorns
strategy.
And yeah.
Right? And we internally kind of call it open source 2.0. One of the things that we do is we ensure that the tools that we give that are meant to be run inside the customer's organization should be open source.
Gotcha.
Because they should know what's running on their systems.
Got it.
But at the same time, we should have a cloud business that can work with our open source ethos. And that is sort of what we're converging to. Like FluentD, the log collector, now on like Google Cloud Platform. It's part of Docker and all that stuff. But we do use it actually internally as part of our SDK endpoint, right?
Cool.
We have bulk connectors, which again is open source, but that powers a lot of our data connectors.
Sure.
Presto, our core engine, but also the core engine of Uber and Facebook. And this kind of like symbiosis is like, I think, is the new chapter of how open source is going to work with enterprise software.
I mean, look at Microsoft, right? They're putting
They took up FluentD for OMS products.
Yeah, that's crazy. It's gone full circle.
Exactly. Like I've always actually been a Microsoft fan, and I'm very, very happy to see them like come to open source, and it's been just great.
Very, very cool. Kiyoto, do you or your team, are you guys doing any, because you were a late sub and I don't have full notes on you, are you guys doing any presentations here you'd like to notify folks about?
Yeah, well, so I guess since this Tableau conference, come to our booth. We have a big booth in Expo 1, booth 309, and we're doing live demos there. So if you're curious about the product, please come by.
Fantastic.
And yeah.
And great website. Folks can fit like the 2-minute video.
Thank you very much.
If you missed the Pioneer to Cart, then you got to go back and look at it.
Yeah, like another great use case I want to talk about is Pebble. So I always have it on me. So they use us to really try to understand what their customers are doing. They're on a mission to make our lives healthier. Through a better understanding of what we do day to day, right? And it's very humbling to be the platform that powers that kind of product analytics and like effort to understand their customers. Because data alone doesn't tell the whole picture. No. But if you don't even know the whole picture through your data, you can't really start to have a meaningful dialogue with your customers.
Absolutely.
So it's been a great journey for us.
Very cool. Some awesome companies picking you guys up. So I look forward to seeing you guys back here next year and talking about the other growth that you've got, which I'm sure will be tremendous.
That'll be great to be back next year.
Fantastic. Kiyoto Tamura, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Gang, we're going to do a lunch break for I think about an hour and a half, and we will be back right after that. We'll see you then.